Wednesday night in southeast Shelby County that sent one woman to the hospital. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office determined the shooting was self-defense. It happened on Autumn Harvest Lane just before 10 o'clock. Deputies say Kimari Burnham, DeJuan Payne, and Naya Kelly went to a woman's home, kicked in the door, and refused to leave. Investigators say the homeowner shot Burnham because she was afraid for her own safety and her children's. He is now in non-critical condition. Burnham, Payne, and Kelly all charged with aggravated burglary.
Interesting. Let's put up a little bit more of the details and some of the articles here. What do we got here? Let me take the small screen for y'all so we could read this together. Memphis mother shoots would-be home invaders. A woman who was severely injured after a shooting Wednesday night in southern Shelby County was shot in self-defense, according to an update Thursday afternoon from the sheriff's office. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office reports that the 21-year-old Kimari Burnham was with two others when they broke into the family's home in a neighborhood connected to Hacks Cross Road near Highway 385. Detectives later determined that Burnham, along with two others identified as DeJuan Payne, 22 years old, and Nala Kelly, 21, showed up uninvited and began banging on the front door while threatening a woman inside. The sheriff's office says the victim will not face charges. All three suspects are now charged with aggravated burglary. Burnham and Kelly are also charged with misdemeanor vandalism. Let's take a look at the video. It's been super viral. Some of y'all have seen it at this point. Some of y'all have not. Check it out.
Locking the door. And stick your head. And my keys up here. Fuck you in. And my keys up here. Bitch.
Ooh.
Bitch. Hey, man. Get out. I'm my mama. My keys up in here. I just told you that. Call him. What you talking about? I'm sorry. Get outside. Get out. Fuck. I'm sorry. I'm my mama. I told you don't play with me when my kids here, ho. Yeah, she. Ain't no shit. Like, go in that room and locking the door. And bitch,
Yo, the joke, it's not supposed to be funny, right? I'm not supposed to laugh, but I think the viral thing online that everybody's laughing at is how she cut the lights. Like she was on some John Wick shit. Like maybe she thought that was gonna like remove the final evidence or some shit like that. Like she obviously set the phone up so that she could be on recording, so that she could record everything going on. She hits the fucking light. She sticks her head out. We still see light coming in from outside now. We hear all the audio. We hear all the back and forth. And then she fucking like, yo, get up out of here. She shoots one of the fucking people, closes the door, opens his back, sees that one of us probably shot, dropped there on the floor, has an exchange, talk about, I told you my kids is up in here. You even hear a little bit of audio in the background of maybe like a little baby or a little kid like crying or worried or something like that. Did you hear that? Well, this is what I'm going to say, people. You see the title. The title says, Memphis mother shoots home invader. Was she wrong? Do y'all see the new thumbnail, people? Do y'all see some of the trend of this channel? Now I could take a step back. Good morning, everybody. Shout out to the chat coming in. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to all the mods. Happy Monday. I wanted to bring this up because I want to engage you guys more in putting on your hood lawyer hats, the same way that I've been doing with you guys for a year, when we go over paperwork, when we do reads, when we follow up on stories. Right now, we're following the Big U case. We're following the Little Dirk case. Cases like this, though, sometimes they're up and at it and then done. Quick, one day we get a determination. Some things keep going and we have to follow the trial and the paperwork, like Drake versus UMG, for months, if not years. This is what I'm going to ask y'all for coverage that we do on a channel like this. 3 questions: guilty, not guilty, trial. That's it. Guilty, not guilty, trial. When you put trial means you want more evidence. Trial means you want to hear more of the story. Trial means you're not sure, okay? So before I give y'all my take on this, chat, Guilty, not guilty, or trial. Right now, let's go. All right. I got my member between rounds, TV in the building. He said, not guilty. I got more folks coming in. Not guilty. Don Bean, our member, says, not guilty. Between rounds, wait. Did you switch? Between rounds, TV, you had not guilty, but now you're saying trial because there's more. Okay, so you got trial. You switched your opinion. Let's go, chat. Trial, guilty, not guilty. What y'all got? I see y'all writing feedback. That's what's up. We can do that after. But right now, this is the segment. Guilty, not guilty, trial. What y'all got? Our member Sassy says, not guilty. Our homie KX in the building says, not guilty. All right, not guilty. King Yeller says, got two King Yellers, or did you change your name? No, because that was a number. Got another King Yeller in the building as a member. Salute, homie. Not guilty. MD Field says, not guilty. JoJo says, trial. Got more from the chat that says trial between rounds. So yeah, I switched. Trial to be sure. I can't be mad at shit like that. Not guilty, trial. Okay, we're gonna do that a lot, people. We're even gonna do that again before this stream is over. Okay. What do I have? The elements that I don't like for what she did. So you got this thing called premeditation, right? If you get charged with murder, right? There's different types of charges and also the way the judge and the jury could look at it. Premeditated versus something happened in the heat of the moment. If I'm sitting here and I'm cooking and I'm stewing over somebody that I'm beefing with, and I said, you know what? I need to go get at him. So this is how I'm going to do it. And I start to plan it out, coordinate it, whether with myself or some codies and friends or whatever. And then we go execute this plan and we get our victim. We get our target, right? Premeditated. Way different than if I got proof. I left my crib today to go to the supermarket. You know, I got into it with somebody in the parking lot over a parking spot. He swung on me. I pulled out a gun and that's heated. That's not premeditated, right? Different way that people look at that. There are premeditation elements here of her setting up the camera. Now, some people could say setting up the camera could just be same way people set up cameras and record themselves when they get pulled over by police officers. In the moment, they're trying to protect themselves, right? But you could also say, like a jury, they could look at it and say, if you got all this time to set up the camera and take your time and grab your gun and look and all this type of stuff, then you can be calling the police, right? That's kind of what they really want y'all to do that. I'm not trying to say everybody follow that. Protect yourself and your family. But they be really wanting you to call the police, escape, evade, not in stand your ground states, but get in the car if you can, drive away, right? They look at stuff like that, right? So there's small elements here that people will say, we wanted you to either engage authorities, we wanted you to try to evade or escape, or we wanted you to call the police, right? There are some elements there that people could go after. Then some other elements there that her lawyer may get questioned on, or she might get questioned on if she ever was brought up on charges. I think right now she's not brought up on charges. The aha and the laughing and all that after the girl was shot on the floor. I told you, blah, blah, blah. What do you mean I told you? So warnings can play in your favor, but it could also be used as grounds to evade. If you had all this time and it wasn't the spur of the moment and you had decision-making opportunities, why didn't you choose not to allegedly shoot or take a life? Luckily, it's not reported that this person that was shot was killed, because that would have made it even bigger of a scenario for the courts to have to figure out for this young lady. Now, you want my verdict? Now that I gave you that where I think she can get tripped up on or where she can possibly have issues with, I'm still going to give you my verdict of not guilty. Not guilty simply because they're saying that when she opens the door right there on camera and then she fires, you think, okay, that's the door. Somebody was outside. They was banging on the door. It went up. No, there's another door. There's like a 2-door situation. They said that these assailants kicked in the door, right? So At what point do you want me to evade? At what point can't I protect myself? At what point can I not prove how scared I am for my safety and my family's safety? Y'all kicked in the first door, right? And then when you got to this door, there's banging, there's all of this going on. And then I got to the point where I protected myself and my family. I believe in the right to feel that you, your loved ones, or other civilians are in danger and protecting yourself. I do understand they try to catch your ass up on evasion and avoiding and no premeditation and call the authorities when you have the opportunity. I get it. They train us all for that. But y'all supposedly kicked in one door and came to the second one banging. I'm scared. My kids is here. Nah, what the fuck do I have a gun in this house for? If you want to put me in jail for that, then stop fucking selling guns to protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, there could be other shit going on. Was it a legal gun? Was it an illegal firearm? No reports are saying that. So let's assume that it's a legal firearm. At what point do you want me to die or get shot at before I could finally fucking defend myself? And certain states and juries and judges damn near act like that. But she might have helped herself even by recording it a little bit. So, not guilty. Okay? Not guilty. Quick intermission. So, I hope that y'all enjoy those. You're going to see them almost daily on our live streams. You're going to see them very, very frequent. It's only right. We cover this type of stuff all the time. We're going to be mixing in more true crime, real crime. If we're going to be walking around as these little hood ghetto lawyers all year like we be doing, let's not just wait until people are in custody. Let's not just wait until the trials begin. Let's take a look at some of these situations and look at them as they're happening in real time and unfolding. Okay? I think there's a lot for us to learn. None of us are perfect. I want to keep my ass out of jail. I want all y'all to stay out of jail. But we want to look at these situations. So we're going to get to one more before the stream is over. Maybe two more. I forget. Maybe two more before the stream is over. But yeah, guilty, not guilty, and trial is how we're going to run those. Okay, chat? All right, let's go. What do we have next? And I do want y'all drop in the comments below, not the live chat here, but in the comments. Do y'all fuck with some of the reformatting of the thumbnails? I got celebrities that we talk about topics still in the thumbnails, but I got the first topic blowing up for us, and it just happened to be true crime related. And I got text back in the thumbnail. That's a callback, right? We did that in the past. So let me know if y'all rocking with the reformatting of the thumbnails once again. And we did those pretty much in the past. So let's take a look at this. So we covered, what was it, yesterday or the day before? I told y'all, I think that shorty caught a lick. Allegedly, Gabriella Zuniga, Jane Doe, was in all the paperwork, right? Tony Busby and the whole court cases never filed her actual name. But Gabriella Zuniga, allegedly, we all believe that this is the girl involved with Shannon Sharpe. They never made the trial. They came to dismissing with prejudice. Tony Busby, who was defending Gabriella Zuniga, was the one to put out a public statement, says that it's all satisfactory to him. His whole tone of his message and public statement was that they're happy, they're cool. We look at the factors involved. We look at the fact that Shannon Sharpe and his legal representatives, even before there was a lawsuit, were willing to just, hey, let's talk about this $10 million on the table and go our separate ways via a mediator. If he was willing to do that before the courts was involved, what are you willing to pay when they actually file for 50, right? 20, 15, 25, 30, 40, whatever it is. I believe that shorty caught a lick because I do not think that she's innocent in the situation at all. Doesn't really look like a full all out. This guy's just hunted this woman, awed her, whatever. She set his ass up. Doesn't mean that his hands are clean in the situation. Either way, she walked away with, I believe, tens of millions of dollars. You pay your taxes, work with a financial advisor, and based on your style of living, you might be set for life. Look what she posts, man. Allegedly, Gabrielle Zuniga's verified, what is this, an Instagram post? Today, I have decided to retire from OnlyFans. Thank you for the incredible support you showed me over the past few years. This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this next chapter. I love you all forever and ever. So, what was her OnlyFans following? Was she big on OnlyFans? I mean, her Instagram pictures that were popping up after the accusations hit the internet was all, pretty provocative and sexual tone and sexual based. It's all good. A lot of women on their Instagram showing ass and titties and twerking and all that, and gym pictures, acting like, hey, look at my gym results. But the whole video is just, you don't even show your face. The whole video is just right there on your ass. It's just, do what y'all do, ladies. It's all good. There's a billion fucking thirsty ass niggas online that's gonna slide into your DMs, fly you out, like your videos, do all that shit. You do what you do, shorty. It's all good. I like it sexy and classy. You know what I'm saying? I look at some of that shit too. I ain't gonna lie. But this girl shutting down her OnlyFans. You got people that put their OnlyFans prior wages or earnings in their lawsuits as their damages. Was that something that allegedly Jane Doe from the Diddy trial talked about? That she left behind her OnlyFans, and we saw cases where people claim that as well, and that would have ended up being a part of her damages. Gabriella Zuniga. I quit my OnlyFans and I was making $200,000 a year. That's another person I think that did it. The assistant that's suing Kanye West, right? She claimed to have been on OnlyFans making X amount of dollars, quit it to be his personal assistant, and then he inappropriately fired her, and then that's some of her damages. But now she even came back and amended her recent lawsuit saying he sex trafficked her, he awed her, he shoved his dick in her mouth, all that type of stuff. That's part of her new recent amended claims, right? We saw that. But this would have been part of it, people. Not just the text message or Shannon, you awed me, or all of that. So you're quitting OnlyFans, based on your Instagram and based on you feeling the need to actually announce it publicly like this, as if you're leaving behind this big movement that you created. I want to assume that it was significant for you. So more indication that this woman caught a fucking lick on Unc. Really caught a lick on Unc. Like, look at this. Look at that. I'll still be on social media. I'll be active, and I have some projects in the works. What projects? Murder Mook Voice. What do you do? We haven't even seen anything come out after her name blew up on the internet. Like, oh, peep, this is where she did acting roles, or this is where she did music. All we saw was Instagram ass pictures and text messages of her looking like she's this 20-year-old fucking little girl that this old ass nigga was pampering and getting at and taking down, right? But now you have projects in the work. All right. Do your thing. Write your book, I guess. Do your documentaries. Spend your money wisely. Shannon Sharpe fucked up for fucking with you in the first place. But it is what it is. Between Tony Busby's post and this post right here, we have everything we need. I still say that Shannon Sharpe should come out and or his representatives and try to get some type of, I don't know, is it really going to be damage control at this point? But some type of damage control comment out or position out. I don't know, something. We are glad that this situation is now behind us. We plan on moving forward. I just feel like whatever public statement him or his legal team make, I just feel like they won't be able to allude to this is all false. Remember that initial press release or media public statement that Shannon Sharpe made when it first went down, right? Remember that? He came out with the whole like this is a setup, this is extortion. There's a clip that I think that they're gonna put out, but at the end of the day, it really should be 10 minutes. I hope that they put out the whole thing, and this is really just a shakedown. What's gonna happen instead is Tony Busby and Shorty are gonna get sued for defamation and blah 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 blah. Obviously, he never did that, right? But that's a public statement that he got, right? Now, he's clearly saying this is not real. I'm being fucked over here. I bet you if him or his legal team ever address this, they will not be talking like that, ever. Even in the nature of dismissal, there'd be agreements. You're not going to hear him do that shit. I bet anybody $10 he ain't going to do that shit. The most he might do is like, I'm happy this is behind me and I can move on. But he ain't going to be able to take no position still accusing her of being a fraud or an extortionist or her and Tony Busby lining him out. He ain't going to be able to do that. So we'll see what he's going to say. But Gabriella, man, is she gonna walk off into the sunset with allegedly $10 million plus? Or is she like, no, I'm here in the midst of the action type of person, which is why I was able to bait and trap this dumb motherfucker to begin with. And that will not be the last we've heard of her. Which one? I'm going with the latter. We just see it in her personality a little bit. All right. What's next? We got let's go back to crime. Let's go crime, celebs. Yeah, let's do it like that this morning. Let's go back to crime. All right, what do we got? Remember, chat, when we get to the end, I'm going to need a guilty, not guilty, or trial from you guys, okay? That's what I'm going to need for you guys. Let's check this out. What is going on in New York? What's going on in Brooklyn? 4 alleged Brooklyn gang members charged in murder, armed robbery, and fentanyl trafficking. Ooh. Brooklyn, New York, federal prosecutors unsealed an 11-count superseding indictment in Brooklyn federal court Tuesday, charging 4 members of a violent Euro 380 gang with racketeering, murder, armed robbery, and narcotics distribution. So, hey, Brooklynites, if there's any Brooklyn people in the chat, do y'all know about this Euro 380 gang? I think they even say, I think there's reports that this is more Marcy area. My Brooklynites, have y'all heard of 380? Are they tearing shit up? Are they well known out there? All right. Keshawn Mason, aka Jojo Euro, Daniel Horton, aka Day Ty or Tease, Ryan Neves, aka Rocket 230, and Dylon Stanley, aka Brady, face charges that include firearm-related murder, assaults in aid of racketeering, and conspiracy to distribute fentanyl. Mason and Stanley were arrested and arraigned Tuesday before U.S. Magistrate Judge James R. Cho Horton and Neves, already in federal custody, will be arraigned at a later date. Federal custody, people. Now, one thing here that stood out, look at this, aka Jojo Euro. So if this fucking Euro 380 gang has a reputation out in Brooklyn, people always got these tattoos or the beads or the names and the aliases, and they post it on their social media. I'm pretty sure somewhere on this man's Instagram, he's calling himself, his fucking Instagram name might be Jojo Euro for all we know. And then what happens is they bring about all this evidence and they start to build a case towards this Euro gang. They start to show who the Euro gang is. They start to show you guys terrorizing the neighborhood, right? And all the crimes you may or may not be linked to or accused to in this particular case, right? And then your lawyer has to do what? So Jojo Euro, explain that on your Instagram here. Exhibit number 28. You see this right here, hashtag Jojo Euro in the building and all that. The tattoo on your shoulder that says Jojo Euro. What is Jojo Euro? That's just my client. He's a big basketball fan. He's talk about the Euro step, or he wants to go to Europe one day. And the jury, once again, who are just human beings and they're not there to be taken as idiots, get to look at you like Cassie and Jane, like, and Daphne Joy, aka allegedly, like, and look at you like, really, nigga, really. You were forced into that freak off? Really? Really, nigga? Euro's about basketball? Really, nigga? That's what happens. What about all these gang signs? Is that Euro? No, that's him practicing sign language. That's what you leave these fucking lawyers to do. Like, these guys do so much self-incrimination. One of you guys' name is Jojo Euro. Good job. It's all over his Instagram. I promise you. According to the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, 4 defendants are members of Euro 380, a subset of the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation gang operating out of the Marcy houses in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Gorilla Stone, Gorilla Nation. This, oh my goodness, I ain't gonna say that. I don't want to put no light on that. I mean, she posted herself and all that type of shit, but I ain't gonna put no light over there. Shorty, be careful. But anyway, what's homie from Brooklyn that's serving time right now, got his face cut and everything. Why am I going blank? He was beefing with 6ix9ine. Let me come to the chat. I'm going blank. What the hell's wrong with my brain this morning? What's his name? Knock your fucking teeth out. What the fuck is his name, y'all? Chat. The rapper from Brooklyn that served time and they got him all caught up in all the gorilla Casanova. Damn, I'm tripping. I don't know what's wrong. My brain freeze right there. Thank you, Big Yellis 317. Yeah, Casanova. So we hear about the guerrillas, the subsidiary groups, and all that, the blood affiliations. I'm gonna say allegedly. But if y'all are in these Instagram pictures, whether you're a rapper, a battle rapper, just a regular dude from the block, you're doing all the pictures where you're emulating the gorillas or the monkey with your fists on the ground and all that, and that's all the shit they're gonna use against you. That's all the shit they use a lot of that shit against Casanova. They're gonna use that shit against these young men right here. Euro 380 gang. Authorities allege that on September 30th, 2023, Neve Stanley and two juveniles opened fire at a summer house rival territory in the 900 subset of the Bloodhound Brims. The group allegedly fired 34 rounds in broad daylight, killing 21-year-old Kyle Ford and wounding two others. The shooting was allegedly ordered by Mason and another high-ranking gang member. Damn. In addition to the homicide, the indictment links the defendants to 3 armed robberies committed in Brooklyn between September and November 2023, including the targeting of a smoke shop, a bodega, and private individuals. Firearms or simulated weapons were used in each incident. Mason and Stanley also faced charges of fentanyl distribution and possession with the intent to distribute. This was brazen, targeted violence that put entire communities at risk, said Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gomez. Authorities described Euro 380's actions as a campaign of violence intended to elevate the gang's status and intimidate rivals, turning public housing areas into battlegrounds. Now, we see that a lot when it comes to that RICO shit, right? That the crimes that you are committing are to be in furtherance of the group, the gang, the company, whatever, right? You see that used in RICO, and this is federal. This is a federal case. And what makes it sad is if you see this on the screen, people, look at these ages of the defendants. So Kashawn Mason, who is JoJo, aka JoJo Euro, 22 years old. Mason, they say that shooting that took the life of one and injured, 2 others, they said was ordered by Mason along with another high ranking. Ordered by Mason, allegedly, and he's 22 years old, already in the boss's chair, calling hits, calling shots, allegedly. 22. Daniel Horton, also known as Day and Day Tees, 23. Ryan Eves, also known as Rocket and Too Sturdy, 20. 20. You can't even drink. You gotta be 21 to drink in New York clubs, right? You can't even drink yet. You can't even go to the bodega and legally, they're going to sell it to you. But Dylon Stanley, also known as Brady, 22, 23, 20, 22. That's how old. Still based on the demographic of this channel, we look at these ages and say, still kids. Still fucking kids. Chat, let's do it. Guilty, not guilty, trial. Go ahead, chat. Guilty, not guilty, or trial. J Money says guilty. Don Bean says guilty. Sassy says gotta find. Oh yeah, the ages. Hell yeah. Between Rounds TV says guilty. Guilty. We got one trial here. I don't see not one guilty yet. We got here guilty as fuck. Got guilty. Got one. No, that's 2 trials. I don't see any not guilties yet though. Guilty. 2 trials. Okay. Not a single not guilty yet. Halliburton says party done. Guilty. All right. I'm with the majority there, people. Looks guilty as fuck. And this is federal, man. Like, it's 10 times more than what we just read. I'm going to spare y'all pulling up some of those other little details. And we're not going to grab the paperwork and the full indictments for every case that we look at or all these situations that we look at. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. But you know what that indictment looks like, right? It's got those Instagram pictures that I was talking about. It's got text messages. It might have phone calls. It might have snitches. It might, like, you do these reads. I'm sorry, people, but that's a guilty. All right. I want to be nice sometimes and be like, yo, trial, man. Like, I don't know, you're not sure. That's a guilty one, people. That's a guilty one. All right. DJ Akademiks. You see him in a thumbnail. I missed this the other day. What is he calling Drake a punk? Is that what he's doing? Let's check this out if you haven't seen it.
Drake, I said, Drake, I pulled up. Are you gonna pull up? Yo, even when Drake hit me, and listen, sometimes y'all be thinking like me and Drake is like buddy, like whatever. Yo, that's my man's, and that is my favorite rapper, but like, I'm not over here dick sucking, my nigga. When Drake told me that shit, was like, yo, bro, they had you scared. You know, I told Drake, I said, Drake, I pulled up. Are you gonna pull up? I swear I told him that. I promise you, I put it on everything. So like, I don't want to hear none of y'all niggas talk shit. I'm the most bitch-made nigga in the game, and I'm pulling up. I'm seeing people. Y'all are the thugs. You're seeing nobody. Y'all talking to crazy. Y'all not doing nothing. I asked Drake, I said, Drake, I think, this is before I realized my hating ass ex and her little new ass nigga cut my passport up. I was going to Toronto to go to the show. I had box seats tickets to Kendrick's show in Toronto. I told Drake, I said, Drake, because Drake, like, I guess SZA hit him up and lied to him. Drake, I said, Drake, I pulled up. Are you going to pull up? I don't know what happened. I said, yo, Drake, gang, I pulled up on them. Are you going to pull up? They're coming to your city. Are you pulling up? Bro, I don't want to hear nobody talk no more shit, man. Yo, this is why I keep telling all of y'all, bro, we all doing content, musicians or not, nobody is really crashing out. Nobody. None of y'all is crashing out. I'm not seeing nobody do nothing. The most pussy nigga in the game, and I'll take the title, I am pulling up. I asked him, this guy just calls you a pedophile. He's coming to your city. You're going to show. All right, okay. I don't know what happened. I say, yo, Drake.
All right. I got some reaction there. So that's definitely a shot, and he was talking a little spicy there. Like Drake hit him up like, "Yo, you scared?" He's like, "Nigga, me, I'm the one that pulled up. Are you pulling up when they come to Toronto? That's your city." He talking a little spicy. I'm proud of you there, buddy. But DJ Akademiks, let's not go too far with the whole, I got stripes from pulling up. Like slow that down a tiny bit, buddy. DJ Akademiks going to the concert. First and foremost, concert. All right. Let's slow this down. DJ Akademiks pulling up to a concert ain't necessarily a war zone. All right. You went to a concert that has 1 billion witnesses around, half that amount of police, and you had your own security guards with you, and all of that is proper and all of that is expected, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. All right. So let's put that piece there first. Okay. The second piece is Akademiks. You're not in real beef with TDE. You're a media guy that loves Drake, supports Drake, was extremely biased during the battle, steered narratives, steered fans, right? But there's no beef. Like, I didn't see of any Kendrick or Dave Free. If I catch you niggas, I'm gonna beat shit down your leg. I didn't see Akademiks say that to them and then pull up, or them say that to him and then he pulled up. I didn't see Dave Free put out a tweet saying, when I catch Akademiks, I'm gonna beat blood out of his face. Like, I didn't see that. So Akademiks, let's not talk at a level like you just known blood, flagging, flamed up, red head to toe, and you walk through the 60s with a sign or a t-shirt that said, "Fuck all you blue niggas." Like calm down. Like all this I pulled up. It wasn't the most gangster and put it this way. If he was pulling up under that type of backdrop, like, I know it's up. I know these niggas want my head on a platter. You know what I'm saying? They want me done off. They want me dead, allegedly. And then you still went, then you would just be the stupidest nigga in the world to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I want my enemies to come to where I'm strong. I don't want to put myself at a weak position and go to where they're strong, which would be where you think they're congregating, right? That don't make too much sense. That would just make you 10 times more stupid than I give you credit for, right? So you didn't think you were pulling up to a war zone. Slow the fuck down, all right? Calm down. So he's not pulling up in Bolivia, B. He was pulling up to a fucking concert. You probably pulled up in a all blacked out Escalade, got lit into the higher ranked or VIP. I would have had all that set up for myself too. Yeah, the VIP entrance with your security guards, and then you walked into the stadium. The fuck? It's not the most dangerous. And there's 0 guns in these stadiums too. You can't even buy a drink online and have them give you a drink without them opening the drink. You want to know why? Because if it's still sealed, it carries enough weight in the liquid inside to be able to throw it and it reach the stage and hit somebody. You notice that when you're at a concert, if you buy a drink, they take the top off or they crack the can for you and then they give it to you. Why did they do that? They're taking the weapon out of your hand, like in a fucking stadium or a concert, or you can't even get a fucking a can of spiked iced tea for a weapon. All right, let alone you coming in there armed up. Chill out, B. Listen, you do get you get a point for being brave enough to saying, I know these guys don't like me, but I'm just popping out for a show. And if somebody wants to talk to me, we'll talk, and it is what it is. And I'll take it back to my platform for content and make a couple $1,000s off of it, which he did and which he's doing right now. Right? It's smart and it's calculated, but slow down. Now, when it comes to Drake, though, does that look bad for Drake that his number one son went to the Kendrick concert, rocked out, came back, reported on it well, saying that, yo, they did their thing in that tour. I ain't gonna lie, was pressed by Dave Freed and some other guys that Akademiks is online now calling gang members. They recorded him. They're holding that footage over him. It seems to be like, yo, don't make us drop the footage of you getting punked or nothing like that. Like, if Drake is on the phone with Akademiks saying, were you scared? Drake must feel away. Like, come on, man. You out here carrying my shield. And then why did you even go? Why did you even go? I'll answer that. It's because as much as he's fanned out for Drake, and as much as Drake is his favorite rapper, Akademiks is still smart enough to put his content first. That's why he went. He's made thousands of dollars just off of attending. You know, he when he does these clips now, like, yo, I want the footage to drop, I believe him. It's content for him. I don't think that he thinks that he's in that compromised of a situation. Then on top of that, I do also agree with him that I'm just the self-proclaimed pussy media guy. So you dropping this footage about a bunch of gang members pressing me is going to do what? And Dave Free pressing me on camera is going to do what? We don't even be seeing Dave Free on footage outside of Kendrick Lamar's videos. You want to have some footage out there of Dave Free pressing a media guy that don't claim to be a gangster? Oh, Akademiks will make another $10,000, $15,000 off of that video coming out. He wants it to drop. You know? So Drake gets a little small L thanks to DJ Akademiks in this one. You know what I'm saying? But Akademiks does make one point here. Dude, they're in Toronto running around at New Hope King restaurant or in the stadium going crazy. You know, your top goon is out here saying if Kendrick comes to Toronto, Swiss cheese, all these threats and all this type of shit. Not only did they come out here and have a successful show, they damn near dominated. Are you going to show some type of presence, right? Are you going to show some type of presence at all? Because Drake be talking gangster shit. He does. Can't wait till I see him. Can't let that go. A lot of that be in the direction I think of Pusha T. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait till they catch him. I want to be there when they catch him and all this. And he talks some gangster shit. Drake, he does. Look at the end of his Family Matters video when he's there talking to the alleged Hell's Angel high-ranking person. Like, what are you trying to symbolize? Drake be on his gangster shit. Then he want to drive around the city in his truck doing the Iceman rollout and everything. like, this is my city. Cool. And I believe that he is very, very strong out there. It's Drake. But when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, and when it comes to Kendrick Lamar coming to town, or when it comes to popping up at one of his concerts, it still is little Akademiks that. Anyway, shout out to Ak and shout out to Drake, man. I don't take no issue with neither one of them on this, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. I just want to point some of that out. Like, come on now, let's be a little sorry it's true here, buddy. All right, let's go back to this today's stream, back and forth. Celebrity news, true crime. Celebrity news, true crime. I like this. Like I said, we're gonna bring more of this in. Get ready, chat. Get ready for your verdicts. Guilty, not guilty, or trial. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Let's do one more before we get back into celebrity news today. Let's do this one. This one came out of Chicago. I believe it said 16 hours ago. 1-year-old boy dies after alleged drowning by mother in Lake Michigan. Chicago community calls for mental health support. A tragic incident unfolded on Chicago's South Side when a 1-year-old boy died after a 31-year-old woman believed to be his mother allegedly drowned him in Lake Michigan. According to WGN TV, police officers responded to a service call around 9:45 p.m. near South Shore Beach. After their initial response, it was discovered that the child had been submerged in the lake. The woman was then taken into custody, further adding to the heartbreak. The Chicago Fire Department's Marine unit later recovered the body of the young child. The woman was transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center, and the child was pronounced dead at Comer Children's Hospital, as per the details provided by CBS News Chicago. The case was subsequently classified as a homicide investigation. The same source highlighted that the mother had cuts on her wrist, and detectives are looking into all aspects of the case, including any potential mental health crisis and might have contributed to the tragic events of that night. Cuts on her wrist. People's going to assume that that's possibly suicide attempts. I'll say allegedly. Very tragic, very sad. She's in custody, and the 1-year-old has lost his life. Let me go to the chat real fast. Guilty, not guilty, trial. Do you want more detail? Do you want to go to trial? Do you want to see if we could figure out more about the cuts on the wrist? Do you want to see her mental state at trial? Do you want to see if it possibly was an accident and maybe this is being investigated or reported on incorrectly? How do y'all feel? Let me come to chat. J Money, guilty. Here goes a guilty. Sassy, guilty. Here goes a between rounds. Trial. You've been on your trial shit today between rounds. I ain't gonna lie to you. Cotton, trial. Karma Love, guilty. King Yeller, BWA. We got 2 King Yellers now, huh? Trial. Don Bean, guilty. Don't play with kids. Mr. Relly 20, guilty. J Money, guilty. BK Stunner 217, trial. Sniper, guilty. Cap says guilty. No, I'm sorry, my bad. Cap says trial. Hustle Boy says trial. Well, he said trail, but you meant trial. I got you. Jonathan says, no, right now, this is how we're going to do these pieces of the chat. I can't read right now. Guilty, not guilty of trial, people. We got a guilty here from Craig. Guilty. No, can't do those right now. Trial. All right, I'm going to stop there. Oh, y'all ran this off crazy. Hold on, my bad. Let me get, let me sneak in, the Yellers is linking up in the chat. We got 2 King Yellers now. Let me sneak in KX real quick. Trial. Let me sneak in Sincerely Tiff Marie real quick. Guilty. Okay, here's where I'm going. Somebody said it earlier up there. I have an extreme sensitivity to children involved. Extreme. A 1-year-old. Now, if you have 2 adults, I'm not just going guilty. Let me say that quick. Guilty. I'm not just going there just because I read this on fucking guilty kid. Like, you got 2 adults there, right? There's way more cause to pause, right? If one adult drowns or loses their life and the other one got cuts on their wrist and they're like, what the hell happened here? I want to see more investigation. And even if I still say guilty, I still would want to see more detail or hear about more details or developments. I probably wouldn't make it to trial, right? Even though we're only doing 3 options in the chat. I probably wouldn't make it to trial, though. The fact that it's a 1-year-old, even if it wasn't you drowning this child's life on purpose, right? There is another layer of an adult's responsibility at that lake with a 1-year-old. For example, let's say the 1-year-old was your godchild, right? And I'm not saying anybody would ever do this, but I just want to create a scenario just to say this is why it's guilty, right? Because it's being a 1-year-old involved. Let's say hypothetically, you as a parent, you allow a friend of the family to take your 1-year-old to the lake. I know y'all would never do this, right? But you allow a friend of the family, not your brother, not your sister, not your aunt, not somebody that you have complete trust with a 1-year-old, but a friend of the family, somebody that you really shouldn't be putting a 1-year-old with at the lake. But hypothetically, y'all, that's what y'all did, chat. If it was an accident, like if you really thought it was an accident, no cuts, no mental evaluation, health evaluation, no indicators that this person was submerged, which is in this article, none of that. Just you think that there's maybe evidence of it being an accident, right? You know what you as a parent would want for that person with that accident of your 1-year-old? If you couldn't exhibit your own justice to that person for the 1-year-old, your child, you know what you wouldn't mind? If they was put under the jail, if they was found guilty of something like negligence. Okay? Because people, remember, we're not just talking about clear-cut black and white. Oh, this woman allegedly took this 1-year-old and submerged them under the water. You could end up in jail because of negligence. Am I turning into a mini lawyer on the low? There was one point when I was young and I wanted to be a lawyer, only because I love to debate. Not because I thought I would get into like trying to learn the law and shit. Nobody put negligence in the chat. I'm doing all right. I ain't no fucking lawyer. Hell no. I'm just thinking about that. Like that negligence angle is really something that could still put you in. Anyway, that's the reason why I'm going guilty no matter what. It reads like you did that shit, bitch. Right? But even if it was an accident, if that was somebody that was a part of my child and you allowed that to happen to a 1-year-old, even if it was semi-accidental, I wouldn't give a fuck about what happened to you because I still blame you as the adult responsible for this 1-year-old losing their life. Guilty. Let me come back up to the chat real quick. Oh, y'all rock with that one? The negligence one, part of it, or angle? Y'all rock with that one? I'm coming back to the supers too, the rest of the supers. Yeah, man, I don't play with kids. Do better. Shout out to Don Bean. Okay, you tried it, and Jay in the building. Along with Dawn is in there. Okay. Thank you, chat. They say, I feel you. You tried it says, I don't care if it was an accident. I'm going to jail because friend going to the everybody's going to feel like that, but what if you can't even get to the person? You know what I'm saying? What if that person is already in custody? You know what I'm saying? So, but Sassy says that's right. J Money says leave kids alone. It's sad, man. We overlook the Brenda's got a baby type shit, right? That's reality. That's reality, people. Shout out to Jonathan. I'll never say, as long as you don't turn cop on us, you ain't never gonna see me show up with my A-verb badge like what he did and all that shit. No. I've maintained for years with y'all that I'm a tax-paying civilian. I'm not a street nigga. I'm not a gangster. I'm not a gang member. None of that. Doesn't change some of my own personal principles and morals, right? I am who I am. But I don't want to be a police officer. I don't want to be a person that's locking people up or nothing like that. I've always definitely been interested, though, in psychology. I minored in psychology in college, right? So a person's mental state, like what their thoughts were when they exhibited certain behaviors or certain actions. I love psychology. And these cases, and legal stuff and law stuff, I've always had a big interest in it. And then on top of that, there's the gems of us learning stuff that helps us avoid some of this shit. Like, oh shit, I can't do that. I thought I could. All right, let me chill. Right. So I think there's a lot of dope angles to it, but it doesn't mean that I'm too old to want to reroute who I want to be. I'll never be like, you know what? I do enjoy this stuff. Let me turn into a Charleston White. That ain't me. I think Charleston White was like that, elements of that for a big piece of his life. And then you constitute the fact that he's turning up the character part of it to make money on the internet. But my character can never do a 180. Like my personality can't just 180 at this point in my life. I'm too old. All right. So y'all don't gotta worry about that. I got y'all. Oh man, ARP ninjas would do anything for a free babysitter. So we see situations where a child maybe died, starves, gets hurt or whatever because the parent, the mother, whatever, then took a trip to Miami and left the kid home alone. Right? Put him under the jail. Fuck him. Or sometimes leaving the kid in the car. And the kid suffocates or dies or heat exhaustion or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We see a lot of that type of stuff. People go to jail for negligence, right? And they deserve. If that's a decision that you made, I can understand. There's a lot of parents that got to move around. Let me say this and then we'll move on. There's a lot of parents that got to move around, especially if you're a single parent or if you're home by yourself at times or whatever. It's not easy, right? And there's a big difference between a child that can communicate, that can talk, that can tell you, I feel good, I feel bad, this happened, I was hurt, somebody hit me. Like that's even like around the level where you start letting them go to other people's houses, knowing that they can come back and tell you if something's wrong, communicate to you, show behavior that feels off, right? A 1-year-old or a baby, you don't know that until the footage drops and you see, oh shit, look at this shitty ass attendant slapping on the kid and the kid just crying. The kid can't tell you verbally, and so you're not sure why the kid is growing up timid and shit. The babysitter was beating the shit out of the kid and slapping him and shaking him because he wanted him to shut up and got frustrated at the kid crying, right? But anyway, point being, when the kid gets old enough to communicate, or especially if they get old enough to be able to communicate, like let's say via phones or something like that, like the kid is old enough to have a phone, right? And call mommy. I get it. Like sometimes the parents got to run out real quick. I got to run a supermarket real quick. Or, I got to, I go over here real quick, just stay home, sit down, play video games, watch TV, call me. Or I'm going to call you 20 times and check in. I'm not hating on that. I'm not hating on a billion parents across the country do that. They got to make moves and it's not easy to be a parent. I'm cool with that. That is completely night and day from a fucking 1-year-old or a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. That's negligence. You can't leave a 5-year-old home alone ever. 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 Right? Even if they are at the point where they can now communicate. You can't leave a 5-year-old home alone. 5-year-old is still capable of like playing with a knife and like, oh, what's this? Is it, you know what I'm saying? 7, 8, maybe 9, definitely 8, 9, 10. Those kids, at that point, they learn like I'm not even allowed to go into the kitchen drawer and touch anything but a fork. I'm allowed to go in there and get a fork or a spoon, but I'm not allowed to touch the knives. Like they're old enough at that age, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them under the jail for negligence. Fuck that, because that's just irresponsibility. You shouldn't have been a parent. This kid is literally surviving, every day then, if that's the type of parent you are. You understand, as a parent, you save your child's life, especially when they're like 5 years and younger. You damn near save their life every day, especially when they're babies and shit. Think about a baby on the bed, right? You got to space it right. If they're rolling yet, once they start rolling over and learn how to turn over and all that type of shit, you got to be careful when they're on the bed. Don't want to fall off the bed. Parents got gates by the stairs because a little baby, once they start crawling and moving around, some of the motherfuckers get fast as shit when they get big. You turn around and they be out in the next room from crawling like, oh shit, like Chucky. I don't know where that reference came from, but Chucky was fast, probably. That's why little feet. People put the gates by the stairs though. That's parenting. That's if you don't have that gate there, you got to stop your kid every time he gets close to the fucking stairs 5 times a day. That you save your kid's life every fucking day, right? So if you got a kid that can hurt himself that easily on a daily basis, and you take a flight to fucking Miami, fuck you, jail. I'm done with that one. Let's go here real quick. Whatever.
And when God gets ready to make you a great woman, you'll know he's going to make you great by how you suffer. The greater the glory, the more intense the story. Because you can't get this all out of a book. And when God gets
Two things here. The first thing, isn't it crazy when the whole internet is trying to warn you about something? The entire internet. Like, I've seen Travis Hunter and his girlfriend talked about on Academics, on maybe DJ Vlad, definitely the Joe Budden podcast. Every small podcaster, just regular people on social media have been pointing out videos and clips and just not comfortable with what looks like a come up or a fallout that's going to happen. And because people get married, you want to assume with the intention of staying married for a long period of time, right? If not forever. These vows be like for better or for worse, right? But the percentage of the world that's getting fucking divorced is high as shit. But anyway, you want to assume that the average person gets married and has at least long-term plans in their mind, right? You got the whole internet, the whole world telling this man, this is going to be fucked up for you and her in a matter of months, weeks, maybe you'll get a couple years or something out of it. The whole internet sees it. And I'm not trying to say go on other people's opinions. You got to make your own way. You got to make your own decisions. Sometimes the whole world will tell you, hey, don't do that. And then you might be the next Michael Jordan. Right? But we're talking about clear signs. And we're talking about situations in a relationship and energies. And it never looked good for anybody. So then you got to ask yourself, Travis Hunter, what type of nigga is you? Because if everybody can see something and you don't see it, or you don't want to see it, if you don't want to see it, that's on you. That's on you. Fine. Somebody wants to be with Brittany Renner right now. If you don't want to see it, that's on you. Fuck it. It is what it is. If you can't see it, use a dummy and maybe the social media and the internet and maybe some friends around you, if they're not yes men, can help you and give you some advice. Hey, I don't know about her. Like my man, Dr. God. Dr. God is nowhere near no Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter don't come off like the sharpest knife in the box. My man, Dr. God is married. This is low. He's been married for like 10 years, I feel like 10 years or 7, 8 years, whatever. Me, as one of his closest people, when he was starting to think about marriage, he asked me, he's like, yo, what you think about shorty? He had his own mind made up, of course, and he's going to do what he wants to do as a grown-ass man, but he's just talking with his homies, talking with his people that he respects their opinion. What you think about shorty? You ever seen anything? What you think? You know, and I gave my feedback. Like, nah, she's a good woman. Boom, boom, boom. I like the show. He's been respectful. Always been classy. This, that. Boom, boom. I like how I was there when y'all met. I even like how y'all met and everything. Boom. Ever since I've been around, every time I never got no weird shit off of her. Like, nah, she's dope. She works. She's hardworking. She's independent. She's smart. I fuck with her. All right, cool. I was just curious what niggas think. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there's any people in Travis Hunter's corner talking to him or for him, but here's point number 2. Travis Hunter is Travis Hunter, right? He's in the public eye. So as his woman that's been in the media, in the press alongside of him at a high level, to the point where you two have been viral 1,000,000 times over, right? You're supposed to know that anything that you put on the internet can affect his brand. You're supposed to protect his brand. He's the bag. Literally, he's the bag. He's the brand. He's the face. He's the true earner of the equation. We don't know you without him. We know him on his own. And I'm not taking nothing from you, shorty. Maybe he sees maybe you are a great woman for all we know. But you have no business with a bag and a brand like that behind you, getting on social media, uploading videos like this. Even let's say this was just bad news because your favorite fucking talk show ended in a way you didn't want it to end. You got to know that I'm in the public eye. I can't put this on social media. You can't. Which makes me then feel like if you're smart enough to know that, I got to protect the bag and the brand. If you happen to be intelligent enough to know that, then videos like this are trying to show that you're having relationship problems. It's related to what everybody's going to tie you to anyway. It's something related to Travis Hunter that would make you cry, because you got to be smart enough to know I can't be crying online about anything else, because it's going to look bad for him and for us. So which one is it? Are you too stupid to manage the public position that you're in with a brand behind you? Or do you want the whole world to know that you're having relationship problems with Travis Hunter? One or the other. Be your own man, be your own woman, but sometimes you got to listen to the internet just a little bit. All right. Super chats, and then I want to tell y'all something real quick about yesterday. Shout out to KX in the building. He always starts, I shouldn't say always, I don't want to put that on him. Very commonly, KX starts streams gifting memberships on the channel. So if KX is ever in a gifting mood, best believe if you want to catch him, it's good to catch him at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. All right, so shout out to KX, man, on his job as always. It's not even a job, man, just giving and just consistently contributing to the Sorry Is True podcast and the whole movement over here, man. I thank you. I really do thank you, homie. I appreciate you. And all the members that have caught membership gifts from you, I'm sure they thank you as well. So shout out to you, KX, as always. How did you get a red joint? I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Shout out to Jay with the super sticker. I don't remember seeing a red joint. Came over here to the super chats real quick. I thought this was an emergency or some shit. Like, the fuck is that? Shout out to Jay. Jay also with another super sticker. This was blue, all right? Cold blue. With another super sticker. Don B said, this was the year, man. I don't play with kids. Yeah. So we did that one. And we got Jay Money, one of our members. He was gifted. So I believe that's the one you possibly caught the membership from KX. So that's dope. Members, stay tuned. I want to get more exclusive content up for y'all this week as well. Like I said, some battles coming up in October, and I got to start working on Full Circle. So members, stay tapped in. I saw Superman yesterday, y'all. When we brought up the Rotten Tomatoes review, everybody was saying that was good. A couple people in the chat jumped in and said it's good. Cosign. I'm going to add the very in front of it. Very good. Very, 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 very good. From the beginning, from the jump, it's this shit going on. It starts like, ooh, what's happening here? You know what I'm saying? And then they develop, put it this way, most the whole world knows the Superman story. When did Superman come out? The 70s, the 60s? Superman's been around longer than some of us were even born. So the whole world knows about Superman, one of the biggest franchises and superheroes, ever. But they still develop it, even for new people. They still develop who Superman is, what Superman is, fastly and very well done. This isn't no thrown together quick, let's use the Superman brand movie. All the acting is good. Every actor did their thing, right? I don't care if it was the news reporters. I don't care. Lex Luthor went crazy. Lex Luthor did his thing. The Justice League team, they all acted very well. Everybody did great acting wise, but the pace of it was perfect. The moments where they came down and built some backstory, like for anybody that saw Superman, There's a scene with Lois Lane and Superman at Lois Lane's apartment arguing, right? Like early on, like the first quarter of the movie. It's just placed perfectly because it builds backdrop of their dynamic as well as Superman's calls to question as to how he just moves as a superhero, right? They also build up one of or top two Superman's top two weaknesses. Everybody knows his top weakness is what? Kryptonite. What's his second top weakness? How much he cares for humans. The Lex Luthors of the world and villains of the world in these comic books and movies in the past, they've always used how much he loves humans as, a weapon against them. There's a scene in here where he saves a squirrel. And if you don't pay attention, you might think like, really, you had to throw that in there? It's built into the storyline of some of the issues that he has with Lex Luthor and how it's used against him because of how much he cares about humanity and shit. He'll save a squirrel. I'd use that against him too. I ain't gonna lie. Now imagine putting a gun to Lois Lane's head. You're gonna get anything you want. The action is dope. Yeah, dope action scenes, dope graphics. They make him fast as shit. When he takes off and when he flies, he's gone. I like when they show a fast Superman like that, like break sound. Like his flight just boom, he's gone. It's like country away in 5 seconds. Like it's dope. It's dope, man. I ain't gonna lie. The ending, everything. Great job. I would watch it again. I would prescribe it to anybody. Well worth the money. Well worth the time. They did a great job. There's not too much else I can say. Great movie. A lot of callbacks in it. What I'm gonna do today too, when I find some time, is I'm gonna pull up Easter egg videos on YouTube about this movie because I was catching a couple of them. I thought like there was a moment where this old lady was like evacuating the city and she had like a little tank with a turtle in it. I thought that was a shot at the Ninja Turtles. There's a little history there, if people know. I saw when he was in the parents' crib, there was a quick Smallville poster on the wall behind it. Like there's a lot of Easter eggs in movies like this. I might watch some of that today. But yeah, that's my review. Great movie, people. Go catch it if you haven't seen it. Last but not least, this is what I want to leave y'all with. Drop a comment below. I'm going to miss it if it's in the live chat because we're getting out of here in 30 seconds. But drop a comment for me. Let me know if you rock with some of the stuff that we added into the stream today. And then we come to the chat and we do the whole thing of guilty, not guilty trial. We've been covering so much crime and so many trials, like the Diddy trial. We did that from beginning to end. Lil Durk trial, we're following it. Big U's trial, we're following. Jay-Z's case, we did it. Tony Busby, Shannon Sharpe, and all these cases, they've either been fast or we followed them since they started and ran for months or a year plus or whatever. Drake and UMG, we did some of that yesterday. Does it make a lot of sense? It does for me that we bring in now more true crime that's not only celebrity based. Okay. I want us to expand to that. So I brought some of that into today's stream and I want to see how much you guys rock with it. And us getting to the guilty, not guilty or trial, I think that's fun. I think that's a fun thing for us to do over here. So let me know if you rock with it. Also, let me know if you rock with the thumbnails. I went back to like an older format and then did a little upgrade with some of the celebrity faces mixed in. But the main topic or the first topic will always be blown up and big. I give you a caption again at the bottom, so there's some context. I felt like the thumbnails that we were using were cool, but there's never any context. You never know the direction of maybe where the main topic might go because there's no words on the thumbnail at all. So I did that, and then I added like some of the small faces so that you can look at that thumbnail in the morning and say, okay, we're also going to talk about Shannon. We're also going to talk about Drake. We're also going to talk about DJ Akademiks at some point too. But this whole home invader gets shot. Oh yeah, let's see what's going on for that true crime segment too. So there's methods to the madness, people. I know there's podcasters and YouTubers that watch some of my shit, and I know they even get some advice. Like, you know what? I'm gonna try that. So let me know if y'all fuck with it. Like the format, appreciate it. Okay, cool. Both stream and thumbnail, cool. All right. Keep dropping the comments below. If you can come back, drop a comment below. Thumbnail as well as stream, adding true crime stuff. Let me know how much y'all rock with it. And I promise y'all I always pay attention to my chat and the whole Sorry It's True movement. because I want us to have fun and enjoy some of our stuff over here. So if you cut these streams on 6 a.m. and the first thing you hear is, well, in yesterday's news, this bitch just fucking tried to kill her child, you understand why. All right? God forbid, by the way. It's Monday. Get to the grind, people. Enjoy your day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. All right? We out.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of and shout out to the members.